The red shirt trapper was the first fly in North America and tied by Keast Lord. A naturalist from England tied this fly in 1858 and fished it in the East Kootenays of British Columbia.
Well, good day, folks. Today we're going to tie a fly that came out of this book here, Famous British Columbia Fly Fishing Waters by Art Lingrens. Quite a piece of history for all of British Columbia. And I was quite intrigued when I came across the fly here. I'll just go to it, is the red-shirted trapper. And it was the first fly that was ever fished in North America. It's right there. Tied by Keast Lord, 1868, I believe it was. And that was the forefather of fly fishing, first recorded fly fishing in North America. So quite a piece of history. I wanted to tie that fly up, and I got a hold of Art, and he said, sure, why not? Get it in, do what you can with it. And he sent me this little card. It's actually got a stamp that he tied here. This is, he was commissioned to do that, the Coca-Cola orange. Got the stamp on there. And then I opened up the envelope here. He actually tied the fly for me. Coca-Cola orange, tied by Art Lingrens. Sent me these hooks. These are blind eye hooks. Very hard. I couldn't find them. They're circa 1920. They're size 8s. And I'll be tying on that fly, or in that hook right there. So thanks to Art, and get your hands on one of these and check out some of this great history. Let's go to the bench and tie the red-shirted trapper. This is a blind eye hook. We'll start here. I'll do what I can as far as even tying this with tools nowadays is a bit of a trick. I'm going to lay down some black thread on the shank. And we'll come forward. Now the original fly was actually tied with a snelled hook. I'm going to be using a silkworm gut on the front here for the eye. That was used later, but this fly originally had a it was snelled right along the shank of the hook, all the way. I'm going to use the gut here, and we'll tie. This is how the flies were tied later on, or actually maybe earlier on in Europe. Silkworm gut. So I'll lay that flat. So that's the eye of the hook. The fly that they used or tied had a long snell, which was probably furled horsehair, I would think, because they used what they had, and they didn't have much. And these guys were in out sport fishing. They were probably wanting something to eat pretty bad. Pretty tough times back then, as we could all imagine. So he had no materials. He was lashing whatever he could on a hook to catch some fish, and he finally grabbed some red yarn off his shirt and added a couple of grouse feathers, and like to say, the rest is history. So here we have some red wool, and I'll tie that forward. And I bet you those guys tied a better fly without a vise and tools than what I'm going to do today. I wouldn't doubt it. So that was pretty much it right there. Now I was trying to find, I looked on the picture in the book, and they look like black feathers. They said they used grouse feathers. Now all I could find that replicated what I was looking for was these little black feathers off the neck of a pheasant, ringneck pheasant, which wasn't what they were using, but it had the iridescence and the shape that pretty much resembled what I've seen in the book. And that's a pretty good picture in there. So I'll do what I can. I'm not a classic tire by any means. Now I'll bring in a little more feather here just for the throat, off my skin off that pheasant. That's been dyed dark olive, but we'll try to get this done so it looks like what they were trying to duplicate. Now I'm going to put these in for the throat. Yeah, I couldn't imagine these guys that are pioneers, what they persevered. And here's our throat. Another thing that's quite amazing as well is, if you know the story about Lee Wolf, one of the most famous fly fishermen ever out of Canada, come out of the east out of Labrador. He's got a lot of great patterns that we still fish today. Royal wolves and grizzly wolves and all those. He's got a lot of great patterns, and he died in a plane crash way before his time. But he was tying these little small wolves, which are split wing, and they're very hard to tie, and he was tying them in his hand, and he had big hands. So what I'm going to do now is take these feathers, got a nice square tip, so you look pretty close to what I seen. Take a soft loop, and we'll just get them on top. I might get a call from Art after, say, you know, Brent, you kind of messed that all up. You could have done a lot better job. Well, I wouldn't. I won't argue with that. But it's interesting. What really intrigued me was the story about the Columbia Basin. So that would be about it. They didn't have nothing more than no glue or anything else. They just went out and caught fish, and plenty of them. So that would be the red-shirted trapper, as far as I can tell. And it would
Thanks
have
for watching Brent's fly fishing instructional series. He can be found on Brent's YouTube channel and Sport Fishing on the Fly.